Hey, HubSpot professionals. Welcome to the first iteration of Howley with customer Mike Woodward of MAVN Marketing. Mike you're a HubSpot Platinum partner at this point. That's amazing.
Almost. We're getting there.
Almost. Why don't you tell me a little bit about MAVN Marketing and the kind of work that you do in HubSpot day to day?
Yeah. Thanks, Christian. Super excited to be here. Maven Marketing is a RevOps agency that I started about 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago. We have transitioned and adapted and moved, but right now we're really focused on HubSpot and essentially only HubSpot clients. And in that, we are working in small to medium sized businesses right now, series seed fund all the way through series B, sometimes C, but not typically. Our 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 target customer is someone who is ready to scale but don't quite have a full marketing team,
Mhm.
and so they need rev ops, marketing, sales, and all of those operations to come into one. And that's where we step in. And we step in, run with them as fast as they can run, and try to build out HubSpot in a way that prepares them to scale really fast and also have everything they need available to them for investors, for fundraising and everything like that that comes with that size of companies.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Across your clients, like how many would you say you work with on any given time?
Yeah, so right now I think we've got 18 portals that we're in right now.
Okay.
Um, so those are between seldomly active and in it every single day. And so just depending on the need of the client right now. But yeah, 18. So pretty good workload for me and a couple people.
Good. Good. Staying busy.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so you'd originally sought out Howley because you're looking for workflow optimization, auditing, and visualizing. Is that
Yeah.
right?
That's exactly what we were doing. In our client acquisition process, we like to do some audits, and these audits that we were doing were taking just crazy amounts of time, and especially for pre-sold clients in our sales process, if we spent 6 to 10 hours trying to do these audits and then not get the client,
Mhm.
that's a lot of time spent for the small team that we are. And it just wasn't working the way we wanted to with time efficiencies. And so we started looking for tools that, you know, in this faster world that we live in, that would allow us to accelerate that auditing process. And that's when we found Howley, and it's been a game changer
Good.
for
Good.
that
Happy to
whole
hear.
world. Yeah.
I love to hear that. Wondering if you'd be able to share how you use Howley in a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
If you wanted to share that with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, like I was saying, like essentially what happens is a prospect that we have will invite us into their portal, let us do a data audit, is what we call it, where we go
Mhm.
in and we just start collecting as much data information as we can from their portal, all about properties. And then what we do is we transition that audit into a workflow audit, because oftentimes what we find is workflows are changing properties, they're
Mhm.
updating things, they're doing some data governance. And oftentimes we find that those workflows, there's just, you start pulling one string and it just becomes a spaghetti mess.
Mhm.
And when we found Howley, it was like, hey, this is an amazing tool that would allow us to just exponentially accelerate visualizing that spaghetti ball, and being able to pull things apart. So let me actually just share my screen if that's okay.
Yes, definitely.
And what we can do is open up one of these portals that we have. And what is Owly, like this is a fresh portal that we have available to us. And as you scroll out on this, it's like, holy crap, they have, I don't know,
Like how?
200-ish workflows in there. Like
Hmm.
it's insane, right? And so in order for us to go one by one through all of these workflows and create an audit that would say, hey, this workflow right here does all of these things, would be just not even, it's not even feasible, right, to do that. But with Howley, and this is what we do now with Howley, what we do is when we get in here, we, with the client, we'll do this live with the client, and we will show it, and we'll come in, we're like, hey, here's all of your workflows. You've got a ton of workflows across four different objects. Well, against four different objects. So there's a lot, five different objects. So there's a lot going on here. And then they're like, oh yeah, and they get kind of overwhelmed a little bit. And then I turn this on, and then this is the spaghetti
Wow.
bowl that we're talking about, right? Like you
Hmm.
get in here and you just see connections all over the place. And if I was trying to do this in a Lucid chart or any other charting program, it would take 10 to 20 hours just to present this to them, because trying to find all of those connections is just, it's impossible. Um, and so now, though, we come in here and we say, hey, these are all your workflows. These are all your connected workflows. Let me scroll out
Hmm.
again. And it allows us to see just all the connected workflows. And you can kind of see the primary workflows that have a lot of the connections. So I'll come in here with them and we'll grab this workflow. It's like, oh, hey, this workflow we can see is connected to a whole bunch. This is a super important workflow. Let's go see what it is. And then we
Hmm.
can come into it. We can click into it. And then with them and with our audit, we can go through all of the connections. We can find the workflows that are, we can jump to all the workflows that are connected. And it just helps them see what kind of mess they're really in.
Hmm.
And for me as an agency owner, I can find really quick value and produce that value almost in no time, and produce these really quick wins that will sort out a little bit of their, uh, and it's just kind of fun to mess with. And I just start getting distracted by pulling these all around and making it look cool. But uh, we can find quick wins super fast. And as an agency owner, as a person that's trying to provide quick value for clients,
Hmm.
uh, it's I can't replace it with anything right now, because it's just such a easy plug and play tool that enables us to map everything so fast. Um, and also, as a RevOps agency, the other thing that we have a really difficult time with is proving um, ROI on the use of a agency like us. And
Hmm.
so with Howley, though, we get this health check that automatically populates and pulls in. And when we first enter into a portal, we can go through the health checker and say, hey, this is where we are right now.
Hmm.
Give us 6 weeks, give us 6 months, give us whatever amount of time, and we can benchmark now and then check back every 3 to 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it might be in the contract, and we can watch the health check increase, hopefully never decrease, always increase. And that adds value, adds validity, adds a little bit of ROI
Hmm.
from our perspective into the client. So that is just super helpful from the agency side, pushing it towards clients so that they can see the value that we're providing and the cleanups that we're doing. Because oftentimes you get all of these workflows in here, and
Mhm.
sorry, you get all of these workflows in here, and now in 6 weeks from now, when we clean this up, maybe we've consolidated these workflows down, and now the health checker gives us, there's not 315 stale workflows now. There's only 110, whatever it might be. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. That's just pre-client stuff that we do with Howley, and then
Mhm.
there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do uh, after they become a client with us, and we're working through some of these other tools and functionality that Howley has.
Now, well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. Um, as we're looking at this huge amount of workflows, right? Uh, of course, they're divided into the different properties, so contacts and tickets and deals and
Mm-hmm.
lead and anything that's custom. Where do you, I mean, you as an agency owner, or you as the person that is looking at this for the first time, what is your first step? So of course, right, you toggle all connections on, you start to draw the map. Uh, Client signs, then what happens? Then what do you do?
Yeah. Once we start working inside of a hub, and we get in here, what we'll do is typically we'll start with um, this the health checker here. We'll identify after in our discussions with the client and our road mapping with them, we'll decide, okay, hey, we're going to go clean up all your broken workflows, and then we can go into these broken workflows, pull them out, and now like, oh hey, this broken workflow is actually tied to a whole bunch of other workflows.
Mhm.
So this is my starting point. I'm going to start with this guy and then go get all of these other connections and make sure that all of those other connections are doing exactly what we want it to do. And then once we get through those, I don't know, on this one is, 25 different workflows. Once we clean up all those 25 workflows, we can pull this guy out and move him aside, and then we go to the next broken workflow. And
Mhm.
sometimes we clean up multiple in the thing, but we'll get through all those broken workflows. And in that process, we're identifying, 5, 10, 100 different other tasks and things that need to get done
Mhm.
because of that one broken workflow. Uh, and so, but we wouldn't have known that as quickly and as easily without like the health check analyzer and the broken workflow enrollments there. So
Mm.
that's oftentimes where we'll start. And then we get into the duplicate actions. That's a big one as well that we can pull out. And then, but like for this hub, I mean, we're looking at 400 workflows. Like this is
Yeah.
going to be a big project. Um, and so we'll try to take those small bites, but inevitably we click on one and there's 15 different pieces of spaghetti tied to this one thing, right? You
Mhm.
pull one, you're going to find a whole bunch of other issues. So essentially that's where we start, and start running through all kinds of uh, projects and tasks that need to get done just to fix this one. Like I can see here, uh, oh no, it looked like there was a circular connection, but there wasn't. Oftentimes, that's another one. Like oftentimes, we'll find workflows that have circular connections that
Mhm.
will run people through cyclical cycles all the time, and that just causes problems inside the hub for
Yeah.
reporting for all kinds of stuff. So
Race conditions, things like that.
yeah,
Do
yep.
you um do you find yourself ever using any of the reporting features that come out of Howley? Do you do any exporting, or do you
Mm-hmm.
use the report? Anything like that? Of course, there's the AI as well, built in. But I
Yeah.
mean, this is more of a plus one on top of Howley. At least that what we found is that you know people that are using Howley on a day to day, they are RevOps first, and so they know these things. I think with the AI insights, with the MCP that's built on top of it, it does become more of a plus one rather than anything that's standalone? Oh, okay. I suppose that failed. Maybe the number of
Well,
workflows there, but
it's got 500 workflows. So,
yeah,
and we're trying to push it beyond what it needs right now.
right,
You can
right.
cut that out. Um,
That's
but,
fine.
yeah, like, um, as far as using the downloads, a lot of the time, our clients will want to move this. Maybe they're a Lucid chart company or that just have all of their stuff in Lucid. And that's when they first asked us to put everything in Lucid. And it's like, that's going to be a 20-hour project.
Mhm,
So, but with Howley, again, right, we can draw all of the connections. We can pull out everything that we wanted to pull out. And then, we can do an export out into their Lucid. And then from there, it's a really good way for us to start building a new architecture for it. And so it's like, hey, this is our current state. What we want it to look like is this new Lucid chart
mhm,
version of it. And that's
mhm.
been helpful for a couple people.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I mean, Mike, thank you so much for sharing with me today. I have a couple follow-up questions if you don't mind. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure it warrants a screen share. I know
You.
that I know that you've answered a few questions already, or sort of explained this a bit, but as you're talking with a prospective client and you've just received access to their HubSpot portal and now you can access it through Howley, how would you say the conversation has changed before you had Howley to what it is today, and what does that look like?
Yeah. Um, Oftentimes, like, I'm a visual learner. I
Mhm,
think a lot of people are visual learners. And when before we were using Howley, it would be a longer conversation and trying to describe exactly what's happening. And oftentimes, these clients that we're working with, they've got a million things going on. They don't have time to listen to a guy trying to pitch them on what's so bad about their HubSpot, right? And and oftentimes these guys built their HubSpots.
mhm,
They are the one man show that bought HubSpot and have grown it until they've got 100 employees, but they were the one. And so it's their baby, right? And so when you just try to describe how ugly their baby is, it doesn't work. But when you can show them how ugly the baby is, then it's like, oh, you're right. Like, it's not just your opinion on the convoluted mess it is. The visualization that we get from Howley just paints the picture for him real quick and easy. It's like, oh, yeah, there's a million different things going on there. Ugh, I might not have been the best person to set this up. And then it's a really easy transition into solutions and bringing value to them really quick.
Good. I do agree with that, in my unbiased opinion, but yeah, I do think that the visualizing is sort of the aha moment when you show Howley for the first time, or when somebody adds
Mm-hmm.
their HubSpot portal for the first time, right? Because HubSpot on its own gives you that list view, and I know that it does have some way to show connections on a one-to-one
Mm-hmm.
basis, right? But
Yep.
as you are talking about properties, workflows writing to properties or changing properties, and what that enrollment then looks like on these other workflows, that's when it becomes extremely convoluted. And
Yeah.
so a tool like Howley, right, becomes
Yeah.
your workflow governance tool, if you want to call it that.
Oh, absolutely. And that reminded me, uh, Howley just rolled out their new um, uh, workflow planner. I think
Mhm.
that's the name of it. Where
Yes.
we just now started. I don't know if we have access to it, so we've just started using it as a tool where we are trying to plan a workflow that is a data governance workflow.
Mhm.
and it says, hey, I'm going to change lifecycle stage to marketing qualified. What happens with all of the other workflows that are associated with marketing qualified leads? And that's a big one because now we can see connections before we actually make the workflow. And that's another really good one for leadership to see. And that's been a really helpful tool just in the last week or two that we've been started using it.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, of course, right. We listen to feedback and we build with our amazing customers like yourself. And so thank you for sharing. And that's awesome to hear. My last question for you, and this might be a loaded one. Um, what would you tell another HubSpot agency owner that's still doing this workflow auditing process manually?
Um, well, first I'd say keep doing it so that I have the competitive advantage, so that I can continue continue winning clients. But no, like seriously, like if I could, it's a big ocean. There's lots of great things for agencies to work in, and if I could just share like this tool for us has been an absolute sales process game changer
Mhm.
because it literally has taken us from a 15-hour proposal and audit time frame to 2 hours, 1.5 hours, maybe. And that's if I really dig into the proposal deeper than the audit. Um,
Mhm.
and it's completely eliminated our audit time, which for us is huge because we're running across a whole bunch of clients, and it's me and two other guys that are other people that are um, operating all of these hubs, and so we don't have a lot of spare time. And so when we were able to reduce that for new clients, it just total game changer for us. So
Awesome.
um, yeah, if any agency is trying to uh, become more efficient in any way around workflows, Howley for us is it's a no brainer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I
Yeah,
really appreciate that. Anything else you want to share? How can people find you? How can people work with you? Um,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Find me on LinkedIn, Mike Woodward, or at mavenmarketing.com. Uh, Drop me a note. It's directly to me, so happy to chat, talk shop. Also happy to just to talk through any type of strategy around HubSpot or agency work. Just kind of uh, high tide rises all boats. So let's keep going and keep serving our clients as best we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. Really appreciate your time today. Uh, we'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks, Christian.
Thanks.